All right, welcome to Module 3. I hope you're ready for features and tools because they are coming at you fast. We've got a lot here. Okay, not fast, but furious. So we talked about your About section. This is back in your page settings, and it's again something that you don't want to overlook, and you want to revisit it regularly. Your short and long form bio statements are really important, as are your operating hours. Any kind of business categories you can slot yourself into so that you're more searchable, and additional links and relevant information that anyone might need in order to find you. This is as important as your Google My Business page, which is where people are really going to find you in local search. But in Facebook search, this page and the content within it is going to help Facebook serve you up to the people that are doing search bar searches for your business name, whether they know it exactly or they're looking for something similar to it. They're going to help you appear in search if you give them what they need in order to help do so. So newsfeed and posts is the thing we're most familiar with, and we've looked at a bit of that already. The idea here really is just the creativity and the consistency that wins people over and brings them back is something that we can't underlook or undercommit to. And what I think the biggest mistake a lot of us make is just that cross-post, lazy duplicate post from Instagram, or the same types of posts all the time that get really old and boring. And unfortunately, those expectations being what they are today, we really need to try and take it one step further. So if I was to look at Starbucks, 'tis the season at the moment, so of course they know their people and they know what their people love. So we're going to see a lot of the festive, holiday themed drinks. We're going to see user generated content, which is amazing. And I know that they haven't cross-posted this from Instagram. However, they're pulling it from content that was posted and probably tagged as Starbucks on Instagram, either using their hashtag or tagging their business. So what a cool way. They may, as a big organization, have reached out to Stardust by Sarah and asked her permission to repost it. But a lot of people will just give photo credit in the form of a camera icon these days and call it good. Worst case, you're going to get asked to take it down. But if you do feel it important to go about the proper channels to make sure you have permission to repost someone's content, then you can. But for the most part, if we're utilizing someone's hashtag, it goes without saying that we would love to be posted again or have our content appear in that person's feed. And, same kind of thing, we can see a really nice variation of videos. So this is that content. We go from pillars to categories to post types. Auto scrolling videos with a nice caption. Maybe it's something that was created in Canva or Jiffy that is going to just combine graphics and imagery and doesn't even need sound. And can be really, really effective at catching someone's eyes without feeling too promotional. Now, if this is a single image post and it is like a still image is what that is, and it's not a video, Facebook going to see that there's lots of text on that image and it may have a reduced reach as a result because Facebook thinks you're promoting your content or you're spamming people with words like sale or free or whatever. And they're using words like buy one, get one and free. So even more penalty there. But when you put it in a video and it's scrolling by, it's a little bit different. So that's just sort of one tip. It used to be a very hard and fast rule that Facebook would place a grid on your images, or you could do it yourself to test it. And if more than 20% of the image had text or icons or even a logo on it, it wouldn't be approved as an ad. I'm talking about, not as an organic post. But I'm willing to bet that this one had some money behind it as a promoted post because we are seeing just how many shares it received. So unless people are just that crazy about that stuff, which they kind of are. So anyway, we're seeing a whole range of beautiful stuff here that kind of catches our eyes and brings us back and makes us want more. I mean, maybe it's not the most exciting kind of content. It's very, very Starbucks. But again, we can, see what else they're doing in their feed. And maybe there's something in particular that we love about their page, like their events, or perhaps it's a store map or something like that. You can see that they haven't been using events since 2018. Interesting. But I'm willing to bet that they are doubling down on something else, like perhaps it's the Starbucks community. And this is somewhere now where, they're actively engaging and encouraging. Just another note about that, if we think about sort of that change, when I mentioned some people are using videos less, a lot of them have evolved towards, spoiler alert here, the store. So the storefront, paid social. This is, sorry, not paid social, social shopping. This is something that we've seen really rise to the fore in the last couple of years, where you don't even have to leave your feed. You don't have to leave the platform in order to shop right from some of your favorite retailers. And we create our catalog in our settings, we add the products that we want to, and we can then send people directly to the website. In this case, sorry, the button is just hiding here, checkout on website. So I'm going to go into Frank and Oak's website shop, and I'm going to see that they in fact are allowing me to see that exact product and to buy it right there. And they're going to have spectacular insights on the back end of their Facebook page to show that, in fact, we created this catalog, we promoted this particular t-shirt, and it led to 17 times the conversions it was getting before, when people weren't thinking to go to our website. We found them with a product catalog or a product-based post or ad from Facebook. And what do you know? It did really well for us. Hilberg and Burke, similarly, they're a retailer. They've moved the top call to action, that singular button that we get up there, that big blue button, either on mobile or desktop. It's very prominent. And, it allows us to shop right from there. I can go into their shop down here, or I can head to it right from here. And it's just a really nice looking feature. Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes they direct us right to their shop on the feed, and other times it's going to take me right to their website. But the point here is that when we get them to our site, this is a meaningful action, right? I've landed on your site. I'm giving you the time of day. Oh, you're trying to capture my email right off the hop. Is that effective or not? You're going to have to A/B test that. People can find pop-ups annoying. However, they convert like crazy. So you're going to have to weigh that out. We're also used to them now. They were really kind of shunned for a while, but now we know that if you don't capture someone's information or email address when they do land on your website, chances are you've missed the boat. They may never come back, and shame on you for not being able to now retarget them or message them and serve them up the kind of content that they hope to receive. So really powerful conversion tools here is what we're talking about. And again, a really beautiful as well feed that, creates engagement and ideally actions that they're hoping that we will take. So when we think about how we're creating these posts, of course, thanks Facebook, not surprisingly, there's lots of ways to go about creating a post. You can use a third-party scheduler. There's many of them: Hootsuite, HubSpot, Social Pilot, Buffer. There's millions of social automation tools. But if we think about creating content right from our feed, sorry, I'm just getting back to our page, we're going to have some pros, some benefits. So there's a couple of ways I'm going to show you how to go about doing it today. And within that, I want you to see just all the options for post types that we have that make them so rich and beautiful. So right away, you've seen this. I can decide what kind of post I want to create, post type. And if it's going to be a photo video, well, don't stop there. Choose from many, many types of photo video. And make it rich. The single image post is about as boring as you can get, and that's 82% of posts on Facebook. They're single image posts, and ditto for ads. They're boring. They're not engaging. They don't open up into something richer, like an instant experience might. I really encourage you to play with those. They're beautiful. You create a canvas. You can really build out some cool kind of looks and feels to it, and it just becomes this almost mini website that the post opens into. I won't go deep into it, but you'll see it. And you can also create these as ads, the instant experience. Pretty cool. But what if I don't have video content, as I mentioned here, and I do want to create something? Oh, it still wants me to create a canvas. Let's get out of there. And I do want to create that auto-scrolling visual content that's so much more eye-catching than a single image post or a link-based post or text. And I just don't have video content. I'm building up my bank and my live videos, and I'll have some soon. But for now, I'm going to choose perhaps slideshow. This is an amazing way to do it. And you can do this with ads as well in Ads Manager or when you're just creating content. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a few photos from, oh, what do you know? I could upload them from my desktop or my Drive, or I can choose from photos that I've recently posted that are happily sitting here in my media bank. And I'm going to choose an array of, I don't know, more graphic and kind of quote posts as well as some photography. And this is our tactic for layout and kind of aesthetics, is that we'll often do original photo. So one of our students, our events, our workshops, stock photo, which is more like technology and stocky. We have a number of references text or the stock photo sites we love in our tool shop. And then we'll do a graphic. So that's either a quote, some kind of, text, or it might be some kind of illustration. So something more hand drawn that just, it breaks it up. So it's not just photo, 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 photo all the time. So that's kind of what our grid looks like and our aesthetics on Instagram, but we parlay that, of course, into our Facebook feed as well. I'm just going to move that to 2 seconds image duration as I create my video slideshow. And I'll leave the aspect ratio the same. Square image is going to work just fine unless I was making a story here. And you know what? And we're going to do fading transitions. And why not add some music? I'm not sure if you'll hear this, but let's just see. What does it sound like? Dance. Can you hear that? Maybe you can't. Anyway, take my word for it. Dance is a little bit obnoxious, but I'm going to do chill wave and I'm going to say create slideshow. And then I'm going to decide when I want to post that. And let's pretend that was actually a really good video and it made sense. I'm going to, of course, complement it with something. And I like to store captions, like tons of them, in a Trello board where I can then easily pull captions out. That's content 101. But I can then match my imagery with my content or my caption really, really seamlessly. I just go in and I pull one over, copy paste. So in this case, though, I'm going to maybe pretend this was something about, I don't know, gosh, embracing Facebook features and tools. Like, why do I make analogies? I just never do well at them. Killer 2021. How about that? Weird. Anyway, so I'm going to decide if I want to share it now or I want to schedule it. So I'm just going to go ahead and schedule that for tomorrow. And ideally, I would be doing a batch creation and scheduling at least a week or a month at a time, a week or a month in advance. This is part of our content process and our content club. So I'm going to schedule that post. Now I'm not going to see it right away because it's got to render that video here, but I can go into my scheduled post in a minute and see what that looks like. So maybe I want to, I did that, I tried the image-based post, but what if I instead want to do a live or an event or an offer? Well, an event I can create right from here as well. We, we'll easily see them show up on our page and we can promote them as promoted content, which is great. And they're dead easy to create. And the category becomes really important here as well. The schedule, you can add additional things like ticket links. You can connect Eventbrite right to your Facebook page now and collect payments from your page. Really awesome. And events can go a long way, especially for certain types of businesses. An offer, also pretty cool. I can decide how many I want to offer. Is it a discount percentage? Is it a overall percentage or a buy one get one? And then what products or services do I want to add? Maybe it's online, maybe it's in store. What do I want my primary call to action to be? If I decide that it's going to be, sorry, I have to move my head there. If it's going to be online and I do that properly, then I get the option for shop now and I can direct people to wherever I want, or I can send them right to my online, again, products. So you get the idea, but this is a really interesting one. And to be honest, again, back to the whole algorithm filtering and where can you go where there's less people on the highway and less competition, there's not a whole lot of people creating offer posts. So, or job posts either. That's another statistically low type of post. So great opportunity to get a little bit more kind of organic reach with a post type that Facebook wants offers in its feed. It wants variation too. And it doesn't just want to show like video from XYZ company and individual human. So really encourage you to try out some different things. And if you're going to create an offer, why not cross post it to here and talk about it on Facebook? Likewise, with an event. If you're creating events, you're putting them on your website, throw them up here. They're going to get exposure, I promise you. Not just in your feed, but in event listings. And you may also like this event, etc. Jobs, pretty self-explanatory, but a nice way to create a job posting without paying $300 to list it on LinkedIn. And you can then decide to cross-post it or promote it or drive people to it however you like. So lots of opportunities there. The live is the other one I'm going to show you. So as soon as we push live, we're taken to, ta-da, something called, here we go, Live Producer. Live Producer has come a long way, thank goodness, because we've been able to go live on Facebook now for a couple of years. And if we go back into, the days of yore, 2015, 2016, 2017, it was a race to the live stream. We had Meerkat, if you recall, and then we had Twitter had Periscope, and then YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live. They've all now tried to play catch up with each other. And it makes sense, like for brands to have their own channel, their own ability to broadcast for free without having to receive news coverage. Apologies, City TV and everybody else who's going down in flames. It's horrible. But we have the ability to record whatever we want, anytime we want, right? Live streaming from our phones, and even beautifully brand it as our own IGTV channel or video page. So with a bit of editorial planning, creativity, and research, or again, planning, you can create some incredible live videos. You can save that video and post it to IGTV or YouTube. You can caption it before you do so. Brilliant. Cross-posting, you can resize it in a number of easy, affordable resizing clipping tools. You can compress it, whatever you need to do. There's endless opportunities here with our video. So really encourage you to work live content into your content calendar as one of your content types, however you can, even if it's 4 times a year and you did it as a Q&A or an interview or an unveiling where you're behind the camera and you're just showing your shop, or interviewing some of your people or your staff or your farmers, producers, chefs, lift operate, whatever it is. We want to get to know you. Pull back the curtains, let us in, be authentic, be human. And Facebook Live is a really great way to do that. Don't worry if no one's going to show up live, because the replay is gold. You post the replay to your news feed. You had 4 people show up for the live stream and they all jammed. No problem. You probably learned something about how long and what day of the week works best and what do they like, and is it a staged studio shoot or is it a live, like opening the door to your shop, come on in, I want to show you around, and there's movement to it. That's my experience of what does better for us. And then the replay you have live on, and I can, like I said, cross post it to other platforms or features in Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, but I can also promote it. I can put a few dollars behind it and target a specific audience. And that's where the money is, because I'm going to have that playing for 7 days or promoted for 7 days, targeting the exact men that I want to see it, and it's going to drive an incredible amount of replays. So very valuable video type of content, and it's found right here in Live Producer, which is a really neat new platform that you can play with. Okay, the other piece here is Creator Studio. Also quite new, sometimes a little glitchy, not my favorite, but I'm committing. So as I mentioned, we can create content right from here, but they also really want us to go into Creator Studio. And you're going to see a shortcut to it up here in your top bar, but and it's going to bump you over here to this unique place. Not to be mistaken with Creative Hub, which is found in Business Manager as one of our more tools. And then I think we go, oh, why did I try and find this right now? Home, let me just see. Oh, it's going to bug me now. Anyway, Creative Hub is very big and I'm not finding it quite right, but business settings, is that it? Nope. I will find it, I promise you. Is it at the very bottom? Nope. Might need to do a search for that. Anyway, Creative Hub is where you plan your ad campaigns and you can like build all sorts of cool stuff before making them live. Whereas Creator Studio is where we schedule and create our posts for Facebook and Instagram. And it'll toggle you around, so make sure you're in the right accounts and you're looking at the right pages. What it's doing is allowing us to see our posts to date, pull from our past content library if we wanted to, repost something, or use the, videos that we could cross post to other places in the Facebook environment, create a playlist. Maybe I just straight up want to find the creative assets and load them up in here so I can pull from them, as in photos and graphics, etc. So the real point here is that I can create my posts. And as I said, so if I go into home and I choose create post, I'm going this roundabout way. I'm not doing it from the page as we just looked at with the grading. I'm doing it in the blue screen, Creator Studio. And I can do the very same thing that I just did. However, I don't like this one as much. I don't find that I get the same kind of options to create those rich photo posts, and it's just not something that I'm really used to. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to stick with creating posts on the front end. However, where I do need to utilize this one, or where I like to go, is if I go into my content library, I can see all of my published, scheduled, drafts, expired or expiring posts. I can upload videos to here a little bit easier. And here we are. Here's that video I just created. Did I make that live? No, I scheduled it for tomorrow. So it's post status scheduled. That's right, because I'm in all posts. Doing really well here. So this guy is scheduled for tomorrow. Let's see what it looks like that we created on the page end. I could obviously add a video title, which is helpful. You want to title that video so that when it appears in your video list, it's got more information, because it's not going to pull in this. This is the post caption, remember? That's different. I can add tags and keywords in order for people to help find my video. I can, just like I would with any other kind of post, I can create I can tag it, I can hashtag it, I can add a product, etc. There's lots of things I can do here. I can change the thumbnail if I don't like it. I can add captions to auto generate. Remember how cool that is, except there's nothing but like funky dance music on this one. I can add a poll, I can add tracking, all sorts of cool stuff. So let's just see what that looks like. It's not rendered for the best size. If I had really kind of taken the time to do this well, I would have, sorry, once again, this is an internet thing. My spectacular video carousel is not showing up here very well. I'm sorry. But it's just going to go through the various posts. Normally it would scroll. That really didn't work very well. And then, of course, I can do a few other things too. I can download that video if I really love it. If I had adjusted the ratio and it was 16:9 or kind of, that size, or I had made something really beautiful, then I could download it, upload it later to another platform right from here after it's been captioned, which is pretty. And then again, of course, I can schedule that a little bit differently than I had it before. I can't believe that's not playing. I'm really sorry. It's going to bug me. And then, oh, it wants me to add a title. How's that? And then publishing options, so I can adjust the schedule, save it as a draft. I can allow people to embed it. I can cross post it to other pages, etc. And then if I want to, I can also see how it's going to appear. So if I want to view post, great, I'm going to see what it's going to actually render like in the news feed, on my video page, or on desktop. Beautiful, beautiful. What I didn't show you is when I loaded all 9 of those images in, I could have moved them around to tell a better story. So you can go like image, text, image, text. I'm really good at this. Okay, so then what I'm going to do, of course, is get out of that page, and don't forget to delete post, which I do right. I'm showing you this because I often forget, and I want to make sure we're all aware of where it is. Oh, I'm just going to go straight out here and go bang and bang. Oh, one thing, sorry, before I do that, there's a few other options here. So reschedule, preview, download video, etc. And then if I had any other things in here, like if it was boosted or other things, then I could quickly and easily see that too. But instead, let's just delete that bad boy. So this is Creator Studio. As you've seen, we schedule our posts, we edit them. You can place them as drafts, pass them along to your team. Now you send them a Facebook message or, a Slack note to say your turn, head on in and edit or approve. You can work with your clients this way too. So it's a really nice hub. And then On Instagram, I've got a few less options. I can go also, sorry, in here in Facebook into insights, and I can go into my inbox, but that's about the extent of where I want to go with that. Creative tools, there you go. Okay, so if I head over to Instagram, I've got less options. I can see my posts. So I've got a library of video content, my photo content, carousel content, that this is all posts that I've created and posted, stories, and then IGTV. What am I able to create and schedule from here? Only Instagram feed and IGTV. So no stories, no reels, just kind of baseline content. So that's why I do not use this very often. And maybe it'll get better over time, but I prefer to go into Planoly or Buffer, or a few other Instagram specific planning tools that are really, really nice. Later is another one. It's a Canadian company that is a really great place to create and map your grid in Instagram and schedule your stories, reels, posts, etc. So you get the idea. Those are Creator Studio and Live Producer, two newish features within Business Suite, and something worth getting to know. So we talked about the publishing tools that exist within Facebook. We're often asked, is it better to schedule my content and have it published from the native Facebook environment, i.e. one of their in-house tools, versus a third-party scheduler? Jury's out. We've watched, there's so many people that will say, yes, you'll be penalized for using a third-party tool. We've watched and taken note of how our content has performed in both regards, and there's not a huge difference. What makes a difference is if the post is good or not, and if it got a bit of a boost, or was targeted to the right people, it got promoted properly or repurposed and reposted, all of those things. I love a fellow named Derek Halpern. He talks about his 80-20 rule, and it flips most of our behaviors on its head, so that instead of spending 80% of your time or 98% of your time creating and curating your perfect content and feed, and then only like 20% or 2% of your time publishing, promoting, cross-posting, directing people to it, advertising it, getting eyeballs on it, we flip it around. When I was a journalist, I found the same thing. I would have PR companies, and then I did the same thing as a PR practitioner myself afterwards. But I'd have these companies phone and say, I've got a story for you. We're just massaging it. And I'd be like, great. Well, if it's a story, I need it. Like, I need feed my beast. I need it every day. Don't give it to me when it's so spit shine that it's no longer news. But this is welcome to corporate whatever world, where every eyeball has to be on it and every little T has to be crossed. But then, they don't think much about distribution. And we do this with, our own press releases sometimes too. It's like you think so much about what goes into that release, not who you're going to send it to and what specific, exclusive story and photo you're going to get to that journalist or that user who's following your content. And that really is the point. Create great content, yes, but spend way more time proliferating, promoting, repurposing it, getting it seen. So I've talked about events a little bit, and they can be a huge strategic, important part of your marketing plan. You don't have to be an event planner, but you can manufacture some too. It could be something as simple as a live stream, or which is neat because you can promote those over in Live Producer. If you're going to schedule, as we see here, go live now or schedule live video, it's really great because it gives you the option to create a post that says Rachel is going live at 3:00 today, and you can even boost that. But obviously a more static type of event is the traditional Facebook event like we saw. So some companies are using these like crazy still. Let's look at our friends at Sunshine Village. They are still utilizing it, and maybe not as we used to, where we were doing huge amounts of like content creation on our event pages a couple years ago, and it became onerous, where you, I don't think I've ever said that word out loud, where you would create an event and then you also had to like feed it. You had to like create all the photos and tee it up, and you're having these separate discussions on that page just for that event. And it's not happening very often anymore. I find that people are creating an event so that they can have that in their newsfeed as a different type of content, and they can invite people or promote it or whatever, but that they're not going out of their way to make it crazy. Oops. Another friend here, my friend Mandy Ballack from the Ace Collective, she does a great job of just straight up, she knows she has events coming up, might as well put it on Facebook as, a quick and dirty little brunch or whatever it is. And I think some of them she gets, she promotes really well and she gets a lot of uptake, and others they're just there. But it does create sort of historical content that we could look back on past events, and that can build trust and authority, of course, as well. But yeah, you get the idea. So thinking about events, however it makes sense to you, and promoting them to whatever extent you want, but recognizing that as the user, take off your marketing hat, put on your Facebook user hat, you get targeted with a lot of events, and they get their own real estate. They get their own like dedicated promotions and algorithm filtering and prominence, right? So that alone is something to be said. It's like, again, where is there not much traffic? There's a whole lot of posts being created, but maybe not a lot of events. So that might be something for your region or your industry that you can take advantage of. Stories and live. So we've talked a little bit about this. Facebook stories is no Instagram stories. Who knows if it will become that, but it's not hard to cross post or your Instagram stories to Facebook, as you know, when you're creating Instagram stories, or to just throw up something on Facebook stories that is, dead easy. I'm going to quickly show you what that can look like. So if I choose Creator Studio, and I want to make a Facebook post from here, a Facebook story, sorry, I'm going to first have to decide what page I want to do that on. And then, so simple. Of course, I can do this from the page as well, but I'm showing you how to do it in Creator Studio. I'm going to grab a quick photo. This gal will do. It's, photos on my desktop that I've kind of meticulously pulled together that I know to be decent photos, that I do that every quarter. So I have a nice bank of imagery to use, whether it's stock or original photos. And then I can add my text wherever I like, just like we all know how to do with a story. For some reason, it's not letting me. That's too bad. There's my button. That you're not going to get when you create it from Instagram. Why? Because as we know, with Instagram stories, you've got to have 10,000 followers in order to get a call to action button or link at the bottom where you swipe up to go to my website. Unless I pay for that through a Facebook story ad placement, then we all get a click-through link. But in this case, it's kind of cool because you're going to get that on your Facebook story. So let's say, crushing Facebook features on a Friday night. Wild. I am wild. And then, of course, I'll have some opportunities to play with how I want that text to look, and, adding a little bit more here and there, or playing with the text type. Sorry, that didn't show up on my original one, but you get the idea. If only I could justify that to the left and make it black, it would be. So I can create a few of these, and now I've got literally a story. And remember, the best stories have at least 3 pieces to them. They're not just a one-off quick hit. Maybe it's like what we saw. If I discard this guy, yes, get rid of that. And I create a text story just to start it off, and don't be limited by your backgrounds. There's some really cool things in here. I gotta move my head again. I can see, something more graphic or something that's kind of, outside the box. Friday, I'm really struggling with this text thing. Oh, I gotta type right here. Friday sunshine. Oh, I should put a few captions on my I've got so many captions. Remember when I told you that? Yeah, I was lying. Well, they're not top of mind. They have to be written down. Friday sunshine. And then I add the next one. You get the idea. So I share that to my story. Can I schedule that? Yes, I think I can. Or maybe not. I've just posted something horrible. Ooh, that's really bad. Added to my story. I'm going to go into my content library and just delete that. I failed there, you guys, but I do feel like there is a way for us to schedule our stories. In fact, I know there to be. So, yeah, that's embarrassing. Stories. Let's just let that load up, and then you can see how bad that is, and maybe we'll quickly delete it. Okay, so there we have it. A few more ways to go about creating engaging content that's varied, and it's, post types and post placements that are unique and different, and whatever makes the most sense for you. You don't have to be everywhere, but there are the features and the tools for you to use if you want them. Video obviously goes a long, long way, like we've seen. So that live piece, I would encourage you to try out. And the stories, as we know them on Instagram to work really well, are the ones that have a bit of a live component to them. So you're filming your story in your phone as a vertical video. I'm holding my phone out here as if you can see me. You're filming your video, and then you are saving it and uploading it as an Instagram and a Facebook story in whatever way you like. But you've got a mix between imagery, video, maybe still graphics. All right, inbox. Let's keep moving. So we've got a lot of ways now to connect with our messenger message platforms in Facebook and Instagram, and they exist in a few different places, of course, because that's the world we're living in. So we can go on into our business suite inbox, and we've got this beautiful newish way to manage our conversations. And I can't tell you how helpful this is. Like, we can go into our specifically our messenger conversations. So they're coming into Facebook Messenger, but I can manage them from this one inbox dashboard. Amen. And I can filter by, whatever business I want to. And again, I can go into Instagram direct messages. I can go into my Facebook messages, my Instagram content, etc. So pretty cool. I can even just see captions here, or sorry, comments on my posts, and I can reply to comments here versus doing it in my Instagram feed late at night. I can just carve out half an hour a day or 10 minutes a day and respond or engage with my comments and my messages all in one place. Here's my Facebook comments. So you get the idea. It's a really nice place to be. Now, there is another place to do that, of course, because there always is. So if I go into my page, and I'm going to go there from here again, and I'm going to go into inbox this way, which generally is right on the top. It's going to look a little bit different, but whatever you prefer. Oh, it's bumping me over to Business Suite. Okay, there you go. So inbox, really, really great place for us to manage. Now, there are a few things in here that we can automate too, which is very cool. So we'll come to that in a second, but insights are going to be the next most important things after inbox, which we want to be paying attention to on a regular basis as well. So we can see those based on, the content that we've been creating for a year or a lifetime or just a week. And it's going to give us some overarching kind of ideas as to what's working and what's not, who our people are, where they live, what kind of posts they resonate with, etc. So I'm in the page and I head to insights, which for some of you might be hidden within the more button. And I've got a few places to go here. So I can see, last 7 days, 28 days, but I don't get a whole lot of toggling options to extend or play with that time frame. I really like this overall summary. I always have. It's been around for a long, long time, and it kind of gives us a nice snapshot. I also really love posts, and I can get to it as well up here by going to posts. But it's going to give me an idea of what has been working and what hasn't, what post types are resonating. When Facebook Live was first invented and the algorithm was giving so much preference to those who used Facebook Lives, we were seeing astronomical differences between how a single image post would perform versus a live. Tens of thousands of people reached with live. It's pretty same now, unless you post something that you know to be really, really emotionally charged or authentic or more human than some or more boring, whatever, promotional content. But you're going to have to be able to answer this both anecdotally. I know this worked because on Tuesdays people love it when we go live and answer questions, or from your insights analytically. I know this worked because we posted it at 7 a.m. and that traditionally does really well for us on Friday mornings. So if I look a little deeper back to when we have been boosting content, and I'm sorry that this is not the best example because we haven't been actively running promotions throughout the summer and the fall, I can get some really great information as to, where I've seen some significant bumps and what those have looked like. So I'm just trying to find an example here. if this doesn't load up, but maybe we'll come back to it. So the other place that I can go for my insights is right over here into the business suite. And this is where it just looks a little different, but as I said, I can get a longer toggle. So if I want to go, something custom, and I want to go all the way back to the beginning of 2020, January 1st to now, I can then update that and I can see overarching stats on how things are going. And I can see it for Instagram and Facebook, which is also kind of nice. I can see the trends that are happening. I can see how my content is performing or not. And I can see my audience statistics there as to who's doing what. So I can see, that the posts that we've boosted, it goes without saying, you can see the rocket ship there. That means it had some money behind it, but those have performed better because organic reach is down to 1% for us. And I can toggle this through ascending or descending. So I can also see my worst performing posts. Ascending meaning they're nice waves. Here's how things did really poorly. That's on reach. But if I wanted to go back to sort of top to bottom, and I want to see likes and reactions, and I'm going to do it based on what did really well, I can see that, certain posts perform better than others, and that we're seeing better engagement on Instagram currently than we are on Facebook. Unless we boost that post, then we're seeing a better performance on Facebook than we would on Instagram for that same amount of money. So I can anecdotally speak to these posts to know that this caption on these top performing posts were really charged, or they hit it home. And that just is what people have wanted from us lately, and from you as well, I'm sure, to say yeah, we've, definitely hit heartstrings or been more real than we have been in the past, because that's what people expect. And I can also, of course, see our worst performing posts. So if you ever had to create a report and you don't want to, subscribe to some expensive reporting service, then you can just come in here and screen grab what's working and what's not. Top 3 performing posts of the month or the quarter, top 3 worst performing posts, and then give your insights as to why. We always say be smarter than a bot and offer your brain insights, because you are probably front end creator and hopefully back end analyzer. And if you're not having some play in both of those, you need to connect the dots, because if you're getting insights as to what's working and you're not passing it back to, the person who's creating, writing it, shooting it, creating the graphics, there's a miss. And then audience, of course, I can get a snapshot of where people are, what their age demo or age range is, et cetera. And we want to be a little careful here, because it's tough. If I see that our page likes or our page followers are mostly women, then I may be inclined to create more female-oriented content, so to speak. But I could see it the other way and take an opportunity to really create some content that I know our male audience resonates with, and then target them accordingly. And I know that I can start to even that split out, as opposed to just really down on the female audience. But maybe not. Maybe you just say, nope, we're gonna go that way. I always say to people at this point, don't underestimate, however, your Google Analytics. Your Google Analytics shows your website snapshot of behavior, acquisition, just overall stats of how people are working through and arriving at your website. And you don't want to assume that your business, every piece of marketing content you're creating is like baked into your Facebook stats. That would be sort of a wrong account of things. You want a bigger snapshot that comes from your website traffic. That's the last bastion, the end place we want to send people to, the ultimate destination. So don't just assume that Facebook has all the answers for you. Let's go back here and see if we've got some posts loaded up over here. We do. Okay, so I wanted to go back and show you a time where we had actually put some posts. We took a break from that over COVID summer, but you can see the difference here. So if normally we're reaching, organic versus paid is the sort of filter I have set up here, but I could also look at fans versus non-fans, or reactions, comments, shares, post hides, engagement rates. But again, let's just straight up look at reach, because that's an important one. Remembering that reach is how many people on the whole would have seen your content. Engagements are those who actually did something with it. And I can see how much of a difference it made to put a bit of money behind these. Like what a What a huge difference. Normally we'll boost a post for $10 and run it for 3 to 5 days. In some cases, if it's a really important call to action, in this case, we were giving away scholarships, we boosted it not once, but twice. And I can speak to, again, the fact that this is what people needed. It was giving away a great opportunity. We saw a really great organic and paid result in the sense that we gave Facebook $100 and we could have seen an average return on that we got $2 per click and had 50 people click through to our website to apply. But instead, because the content was hot, Facebook served it up even more. Our ad performance was high. That means it cost us like 20 cents per click. So they're still going to take our $100 over 7 days. But if the ad is crappy and not something people want, your performance, i.e. cost per click or cost per 1,000 people reached, depending on what your objective is going to be different. So that's just something to keep in mind, of course, and you get better at it as you go. And audience targeting and audience setup on the front end or before you push promote is key. In the past, every single post was boosted like Unilever. And that was really fun because we taught, and we'll return to that again, but we would toggle then through all of our audiences. So we know before we even create that post who it's intended for, because we're working backwards, remember, reverse engineering instead of create the content. Oh, who's this for? Who should we boost it to? Oh, same old lady with the wine on Friday nights Netflix. Just do her again. Blanket audience, billboard. That's spray and pray. Spray the land. It's got to hit somebody. As opposed to drip it into just the right news feed where 80% of the people that you're targeting are candidates for what you're offering, not 8%, because your results and your costs will be way higher. Your results will be lower. Okay, beating all the horses right now. I can't believe I just said that out loud, but let me move on. So we've got a number of ways to look at both our post insights and our people insights, keeping in mind that this is just a snapshot, but it can be a fantastic snapshot. Sometimes we have too many stats, and this can be just a nice way to get a quick hit of it, and then you can drill into more information if you need it. Let's go to the shop, shall we? So the storefront and again, social shopping is relatively new. And we're going to go back to home base and we're going to head to our home window here in Business Suite. And we're going to go into more tools. And then we're going to go into business settings. I hope I'm right here. I even had to make a note of this here. Commerce Manager. Nope. I need to find that waffle. There it is, our waffle. Get yourself to the waffle. And then we can go scroll down and I can adjust my settings, adjust my ads manager, my ad campaigns, build my audiences, and scroll all the way through all these lovely things here. This is the other thing. So when I said when you're lost, go to 2 places, you're going to go to your business home. And that gives you, opportunity to go to inbox, posts, ads, insights, and more. The other place you want to get to is your waffle. And that is where you can go there right from here, more tools, business manager or any of these things. And then once you see it, you're able to open it up into a bunch of other things. So those are your 2 kind of places you're going to get familiar with. And at the very bottom, hidden for some reason, Commerce Manager. This is pretty cool because what we're able to do here is create our own storefront, just like Hilberg and Burke have done, and Frank and Oak and Camp Brand Goods, and many service providers too, if they can find a way to do it. It's a little tougher. They want you to have a physical product with a physical price, but there's certain ways around it. And I encourage you to read up on Facebook storefronts if this is something that resonates with you. So from here, we're going to create our shop, and then we're going to add our products or create a catalog of products. And this is where, with a simple price, an image, and a little blurb about what it is you're selling, you can really create a catalog quite easily and do all sorts of cool things with it. And don't forget, it doesn't just live on your Facebook page. You can link to all those products really nicely and send people directly to your store wherever you need to. And some people just use this, as a kind of pretty little feature on their website, and others use it on a whole other level where they're selling directly from here, just like they would if it was Etsy. So I'm going to say that we're going to back up a little bit, and to finish this module, now that I've overwhelmed you a lot. I would love you to create 8 sample post types, given the things that we've talked about. So we're incorporating, ideally, some pillars that are unique to you. And if you don't have those content pillars, a great place to start is that educate, entertain, inspire. But try to divide up some content ideas in your head into those categories or some kind of filtering system. Then you're going to want to have those post categories that are the how-tos, did you knows, behind the scenes, etc., to make it interesting. So you've got a few sheets in your workbook to help you with that, and you can write out the exact caption and image that you would use, or you can just kind of spitball it a little bit and give a general summary of what that might look like. But on the whole, thinking about 8 posts that you could post over the next, is it 2 weeks if you're posting 4 times a week. This is going to depend on your content plan and your editorial calendar, which is a different course, but you're thinking about what it is you need to serve your people with and how frequent and what you can sustain. And if you can do a post every weekday or one every day, that's great. But maybe you want to cut it back to 3 times a week, and 8 to 10 posts could last you a couple of weeks. So thinking about those if you can, and what different types of pillars, categories, and post types you can bring to life. And I will see you in module number 4, where we'll talk about a few other tactics for driving engagement and really seeing high return on your Facebook efforts.